Well, the rumors have been going around in the news world for a few days, and apparently they've been going on in the garage for a few weeks, but wow, I can't believe I'm saying this. Busch Motorsports, the truck series team owned by Cup Series champion, two-time Cup Series champion Kyle Busch, is being sold to Spire Motorsports. Yep, Busch Motorsports. We've seen Kyle Busch win so many races in those trucks. We've seen so many current Cup Series drivers drive those trucks to start out their careers and blossom into the now full-time Cup Series winning drivers that we see today. They're selling. They are selling to Spire Motorsports. Once again, I just can't believe it. It was just a couple months ago that Kyle Busch was talking about splitting the truck with his son, Brexton, and that's how he wanted to go out, essentially. He wanted to split the truck, the 51 truck, with him and his son, where Kyle Busch would run the big tracks and Brexton would run the short tracks. And once Brexton reached the age, I think, 17, 18 years old, and Kyle Busch, that would be like the end of his career, his Cup Series career, his full-time career, and that eventually that truck would become his son's. But now, Kyle Busch is selling. They've released a statement. I'll read that, and then we'll talk about, I guess, the impact of Kyle Busch Motorsports, the drivers that they've seen, the success that they've had. This is a long statement, by the way. When we started the Truck Series team back in 2010, I never imagined that we would be able to win 100 races with 18 different drivers, and that one day I'd be racing in the Cup Series alongside so many of the drivers that I've once mentored at KBM, Busch said. I owe a lot of gratitude to so many people, starting with Samantha and my family, for believing in this dream that I had. It took countless hours by so many amazing people to make KBM the winningest truck team in Truck Series history. I will always appreciate everyone that walked through the doors and gave their all to make this a successful organization. Not only has it been the people that were employed here, but it's also the families that supported them while they worked long hours and traveled on the weekend, sacrificing time at home and missing family events. And I certainly can't say enough thanks to Toyota for the first 13 years of support, and to Chevrolet for stepping up to the plate this year. Due to their commitment and that of our great sponsors, we've been able to compete at the highest level and hang a lot of banners. I'm at a different point in my life now than I was back in 2010. My family has grown, my Cup Series team changed this year, and our son's racing schedule has become as demanding as my own. It's important to me to be able to spend more time with my family and my number 8 team at Richard Childress Racing. It'll be hard to walk away from the amazing facility that we've built. I'll miss walking the shop floor, talking with our employees, hosting our fan days in the lobby, and spending countless hours there ensuring its success. However, I know at this point in my life and in my career that this is the correct decision. Wow. As I said, I really just can't believe that this is real. Spire Motorsports, holy crap. This Gainbridge sponsorship, I don't know if that's what's funding all this, but they have been on a spending spree. They just spent $40 million to get themselves a third charter a couple weeks ago, last week, whenever that was. And they bought the charter from Live Fast Motorsports, $40 million. Now they are buying the Kyle Busch Motorsports Truck Series team. So that'll be 2 trucks teams. I don't think they have a charter system, but the supplies, the parts, the bodies, chassis, whatever it may be. But they are also buying the facility, I think it's 77,000 square feet. And they're going to actually move their whole, team to this new facility, for them at least. That they used to be at Alan Kulwicki, of course, the 1992 Cup Series champion. They used to operate out of that shop, but then Spire, they have been operating out of that shop for a few years now, and they will move over to what is now the KBM facility, but was about to be the Spire facility. And they will be taking over all Truck Series operations. They've run a part-time truck the last couple of years. We see some Hendrick Motorsports drivers get in that truck. We've seen Corey LaJoy get in that truck, of course. Corey LaJoy, a Cup Series driver for Spire Motorsports. So Spire Motorsports, they are on quite the spending spree. They are looking to be successful. I know we used to think of Spire Motorsports as a back marker. They're just there to have fun, I guess. I don't know. But they'd run 28th to last, somewhere in there. They got that one with Justin Haley in 2019, but they have slowly been making progress, and this year it's shown. Corey LaJoie's been killing it. He's got a few top 10s on the year. He's led some laps this year. We even saw him in the top 20 in points for a good portion of the year. I think he's around 25th now, but that's huge for a team like Spire Motorsports, and with the extra sponsorship that they now have, they're looking to make the next big step, which is to be competing for wins. And, they've won a race. So competing for wins more consistently, I should say. But they are looking to make that next big step and having a truck series program to where you can have some guys that you kind of start and then eventually make their way up to Cup. And then also, now that they have 3 trucks, we could see some different drivers in there where they have like an all-star car, like kind of what KBM had, where we saw Kyle Busch, William Byron, other drivers step in that truck. Will we see that? Like, could Shane Van Gisbergen, who's going to be running across all 3 series next year, could he be in one of those Spire Motorsports trucks for a few races? But now to the KBM side of things. KBM, as it said in that statement, started back in 2010. The numbers, let's see here. In the truck series, they have 100 wins. They got that 100th win this year. Where was it? Pocono, maybe? I don't know. But Kyle Busch has won a ton of them. We have also seen numerous current Cup Series drivers, Cup Series winners in the trucks that Kyle Busch owns. We have seen William Byron in KBM trucks, Christopher Bell, Eric Jones, Bubba Wallace. These are just a few of the names that Kyle Busch has essentially started careers for. Now, obviously, some of these guys, they would have found other rides, but Kyle Busch gave them their opportunity, and they had success in the truck series, winning races, some of them winning championships in the truck series, and they eventually made their way. They are now full-time Cup Series drivers. As I said, some of these guys, very successful. William Byron this year, 6 wins, leads the Cup Series in wins. Christopher Bell made the Final Four last year. Bubba Wallace has won a couple of races in his career. The list goes on. The fact of the matter is, Kyle Busch Motorsports has been a huge impact on NASCAR. Obviously, yes, the wins in the truck series, the championships in the truck series, but the biggest impact being the starting point for some of the drivers I just listed so that they could blossom in their career. And, we've seen a lot of teams come and go over the years, not just truck series, but, Cup series, all the way through. We've seen teams come and go. But this is a big one. This is a big one to not see anymore. Brad Keselowski, I know he owned a truck series team about, I want to say, a decade ago. I don't think it was as long-lived as Kyle Busch Motorsports, but, same situation there where we saw drivers like Ryan Blaney, Chase Briscoe kind of go up through that system, and they're now in the Cup Series full-time. So Kyle Busch, it's got to be a mixed emotion feeling for him to where, something that you built up, that you put a lot of heart and effort into, a lot of money as well, to see this thing go away, to see this thing go into the hands of someone else, it's got to hurt. But at the same time, he's got to feel great. As I said, so much success in the truck series, the wins, the championships, but also, as I've said already multiple times, being such a big part of people's careers, not just the drivers, but, the crew chiefs, the crew members. We saw Rudy Fugle, William Byron's current crew chief. He used to work at KBM, and he's now shifted to the Cup Series, and he's seeing success. So while the main focus will be on the drivers and how they started at KBM and made their way up through the ranks, it's going to be the same story for a lot of guys that aren't driving the car, the guys who work on the cars as well. I'm sure a lot of them are upset, sad as well, but hopefully Spire Motorsports gives them a chance. I know this is a cutthroat business, so maybe not everyone will make it, but we'll see. But Kyle Busch Motorsports, I know they ran in a couple Xfinity races or a couple Xfinity seasons as well, won some races there, but ARCA, maybe some late model stuff, but Kyle Busch Motorsports, it's crazy. I saw some stat when the rumors were being leaked about this. Kyle Busch Motorsports and GMS Racing are shutting down at the end of the year in the truck series. I think there was some stat that said they've won like 55% of races in the last 7 or 8 years. So the 2 most successful truck series teams of the past few years, gone. So we'll see. And then as for the future of the drivers, or driver, I guess I should say, Chase Purdy, I don't know what his situation is going to be after this year. I don't know. Jack Wood, he's been in one of the cars part-time. I don't know what his situation is going to be, but we will obviously know with due time. So yeah, Kyle Busch Motorsports will not exist as of November 2023. Spire Motorsports has once again spent a lot of money. There was no estimate on the amount of money that was spent on Kyle Busch Motorsports, but to buy the facility, to buy the team, to buy the everything about it, a lot of money. So Spire Motorsports, they are continuing to spend money, continuing to try to make their way up through the ranks, continuing to try to be a more successful team. And Kyle Busch Motorsports has sold. Kyle Busch, we will see what he does outside of just his Cup Series driving, outside of his son's racing. So thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. I'll have more videos up. As I said, this afternoon, I will for sure have a video up on my weekend at Texas Motor Speedway. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. It's currently like 11 a.m. here, but yeah, early video, but some big news.